Hello everyone, I'm Kritika Aswani and today we are in New York City for the 17th annual New York Indian Film Festival. For the past 16 years, New York Indian Film Festival has been celebrating the diversity of the city by showcasing short films, documentaries, industry panels and by boasting budding actors and directors. Let's go inside and take a look at this year's New York Indian Film Festival. Festival is here. Talk to us about the challenges that you face and what are you expecting from this year's festival?
I'm expecting a magnificent festival. We've put together some of the best films. We've got national award winners. In fact, the best picture at the National Awards is Kasav, which we're showing. And we've got all kinds of documentaries and features and everything that people will never see again. Yeah. This is the only time they get to see them because these films don't get distribution all the time.
How does it feel to be here at the New York Indian Film Festival?
Brilliant. It's lovely. I mean,
it's your first time?
It's my first time here.
Share a little bit about your movie. What is it all about?
It is based on a one-act play by the same name by this eminent Hindi author Surendra Verma. Surendra Verma is one of those few authors of today's time who has got both Sahitya Akademi and Sangeet Natak Akademi Award for his writing. And I took the rights from him the achievement was that when he saw the film, he loved it. And then, Asim saw the film, he's chosen it for the festival, so it's wow. And then we have a funny thing that, Tomoyuki Kato is a person of Japanese origin living in India, doesn't understand Hindi. So I translated the play to him and I told him this is how we're going to shoot it. And then he added his values as a camera person.
Sudesh Kamath.
And which movie of yours is being featured?
Side A, Side B. It's a musical. So we're playing tomorrow. We're premiering tomorrow at 9:30.
So talk a little bit about your movie.
Side A, Side B is an independent film. It's a musical. We shot on a train from Guwahati to Mumbai in like 44 hours with iPhones. So the whole movie is just a song every 4 minutes. So it's like performed live. Usually movies, musicals, they record the music separately. But here it's a real world musical, which means we got the sound team on the train and we recorded the sound live and the actors performed live in like 8 long takes.
I have two films, two short films. One is Flight of Hope. My director-writer is Vinay Pujara over here. And then my other film is Bubbles, which is a 17-minute film all shot in Mumbai in Marathi by Harshad Nalawde, who had a film last year. And actually, this is our film together in this festival for the second consecutive year, and my 5th film in the last 4 years. So it's very exciting to be part of the festival for the past several years.
What do you say about your film? What is your film all about?
I think Shab is a film which is about big city dreams, desires, ambition. It's set in Delhi in 4 seasons about relationships. And at the end of it, it's all about the search for yourself.
So talk to us about New York Indian Film Festival. You had so many films right here presented. What do you have to say about all these films out here? There were approximately 85 films, right?
That's right.
What do you have to say about all of these?
Well, I think it's really exciting because we focus so much of our attention normally on mainstream Bollywood movies, on Hindi cinema, and on sort of the commercial films. But the films that you're going to see here this week are the films that maybe don't get as much attention but are equally deserving because they're really stellar in terms of their storytelling and their acting, and we're excited for people to take a look at the films that are going to be here.
And what would you say about New York Indian Film Festival showcasing all these films right here? And also they're also giving the new upcoming actors, directors a chance to feature their films in front of all these people out here.
Yeah. Well, I'm a native New Yorker. I've lived here for many years, and so it's an honor for me to be a part of this festival as a juror, for us to be able to host these films, because New York is really the center of independent cinema in the world, in my opinion. And for us to be able to spotlight films from South Asia is a great opportunity for these films to be seen on a global platform because they're here in New York.
I'm Meenu. I brought the film Jeevan Hathi here.
So coming here at the New York Indian Film Festival, talk to us about your experience.
Well, this is the second time I'm coming to the New York Indian Film Festival. Previously, my film Zinda Bhag also premiered in New York in this festival. So it's lovely. I love the people of this festival, the programmers, the director. They're all fantastic people. So really glad that this is where we are showing our film again. Yeah.
Talk to us about your film, Jeevan Hathi. What is it all about?
So Jeevan Hathi is a 50-minute sort of neither short nor full feature length film, and it's a film about it's a satire, it's a black comedy about the media's race for ratings, but it's really also a film about how people on both sides of the screen are really have aspirations which they're ready to do anything for. People who watch TV, but also people who make TV.
So Dr. Sudhir Parekh, welcome to New York India Film Festival. How does it feel to be here?
Oh, it's a great, feels very great, excited. It's a really big honor, and we came a long way. This festival started many years ago, and I'm the part of festival since inception. And now it's really at a different level and higher level and better level.
And which movie are you looking forward to?
Yeah, Lipstick, today's. Yes, because I would like to see why it's so controversial, and I'm sure it's a great story because Prakash Jha is a great producer.
How does it feel to be here at the New York India Film Festival and having your movie as the opening film?
It's very exciting. Our film has been the opening film in LA and now in New York. I think two big cities, and what better could be asked for, like in America, than to premiere in two big cities. And, it's exciting because this is the city of artists.
How is it working with in the movie Lipstick Under My Burqa?
Oh, it was wonderful. I don't think I have ever felt any more liberated than this. I dropped so many inhibitions because it finally was, I'm an awkward person, but to be able to work in this film basically meant that I drop all my inhibitions and I, become this person that Leela is. So I think that was a big step for me.
We're in the 21st century and we feel that women have achieved so many things. Like Indra Nooyi is the CEO of Pepsi. Women are at different levels in life now, in world, but still there's a point where women are not treated equally as men in the society till date. What would you say on that? And plus women also suppress their feelings, whatever feelings they have, and in your movie you're trying to say that women need to bring out their feelings.
It's very easy to say women are suppressed and everything. I think in this case I will say that women should hold hands of each other. There are very few positions up there and it's very difficult for them to be occupied, and they're mainly occupied by males. They're very male dominated society that we live in. The point here is that if there are 5 positions up there and one is going to be taken by one woman and the rest of the 4 are going to be by a man, a woman should not pull the others down. She should hold each other's hands and pull them up. And that's the only way women are going to empower themselves. They should not make anyone feel that any other woman feel less, any lesser than them. And unless you don't do that, you're never going to be able to empower yourself. So I think women in general should just be together, hold each other's hands, and this hand holding is the only thing that's going to get them through.
And how is it working with Konkana Sen Sharma, Ratna Pathak, such amazing actors?
Ratna Pathak is my mentor and I've been doing theatre with her for about 10 years. I was working with Konkana for the first time, but I was sharing screen space with Ratna ma'am for the first time, and I thought it was very exciting because I've played her daughter in various plays, but just to be able to share that one scene with her, I think it's fantastic. Just to be able to see how she works with camera and to see how Konkana works with camera. They're so lovely to work with. There's so much that they give to an actor that you can return.
The opening night of the New York Indian Film Festival was filled with glamorous celebrities walking the red carpet. There was gala dinner, entertainment, and of course the opening night film. For this year's New York India Film Festival, the opening night film was one of the most controversial and award-winning film, Lipstick Under My Burqa. So talk to us about Lipstick. Why did you name it Lipstick Under My Burqa, that name?
I don't know, it was just an instinctive title, but it's... I guess it's when I thought of the four characters, the title emerged at the same time, and for me it's a metaphoric title. It really signifies that women can sort of dream and pulsate with ambition, passion, desire, and no matter what their circumstances, and even if we feel that women have been stifled, the truth is that we can't kill their dreams and we can't kill their zest for life, and they'll always in secret still sort of be wanting more from life, wanting that freedom. So for me that's what the title is. It's a metaphoric title, like I said.
And I want to know know about the cast of your film, especially Konkana Sen Sharma, Ratna Pathak. How was it working with them, and how well did they portray the character of your film?
Well, I think they're brilliant actors, and I had a fantastic time working, not just with both of them, with all the actors, all the 4 girls, and of course all the other cast as well. But the 4 girls were all of them were like really lovely, and especially because I really felt they gave themselves to the film completely. And I think nobody came to the film with any sort of baggage of, oh, I'm a very accomplished actor, etc. I feel they really came to it with fresh eyes, wanting to do their best, wanting to figure out how it is that the story can be told best. And we did lots of workshops and rehearsals and a lot of readings. So, and I think that was what was fantastic was that the veteran actors did the same number of rehearsals and workshops and exercises and readings as the new actors. So it was a pretty level playing field like that. And I think nobody ever made me feel like this one is a more experienced actor, or I think everyone was very open, and that was the kind of atmosphere that we had on set, I feel, which is why, everyone has just given very heartfelt and intimate performances.
And how is it working with Prakash? You have assisted him in several other movies, and how is it working with him, especially when you were the director and he was the producer?
Well, he's produced my first film as well, Turning 30. He's also produced a documentary that I shot. So we have a great equation as a producer and director, because he doesn't interfere at all, and he doesn't, once he signed off on the shooting script, like the final script that he's agreed to, and the film is getting funded, he then just sees the first cut of the film. He's not, in fact, he's very chilled out. He's not even, doesn't interfere even with casting or with doesn't really come on set or anything. So I think he's a great director, because I feel like if he's producing a film, he believes in the capability of the director to deliver the film and gives the director a lot of space. I feel that's very, very important, to sort of have that kind of freedom and that space to be able to make the film the way you want to make it. And so I think I really appreciate him for that. I think whether it was Turning 30 or Lipstick, for completely giving me the space, whether it was in terms of the writing, the shooting, or even the edit. In fact, the final film, Lipstick, he actually saw only when the film premiered at Mami.
वो पल तो हर लड़की की लाइफ में आता है, जब उसमें औरत बनने की चाहत जाग उठती है।
I'm रेहाना बेदी और मेरा गाना 7 Things से इंस्पायर है। लो आ गई भोपाल की ब्रिटनी नंबर 3।
रोजी की ख्वाहिशें भी रोज की तरह खिल रही थी।
ये फोटोज ना लॉटरी की टिकट है। आप दोनों का आपस में कुछ रिश्ता है?
खंडहर से घर के एक बंद कमरे में रोजी कैद थी, अपने जवां रंगी अरमानों के साथ बिल्कुल अकेली।
पहले नाम बताओ अपना। बुआ जी। किसकी बुआ जी? मेरी बुआ जी तो नहीं हो।
पर्दे बड़े मोटे थे, अंधेरे में रोजी को कोई देख नहीं पाता।
लाइफ में सिर्फ बच्चे ही पैदा करने हैं या कुछ और भी प्लान है तुम्हारा?
ले ली जान जान जान, बिना पूछ हाय हाय, दे दी जान जान जान, बिना पूछ वाय वाय। ले ली जान जान जान, बिना पूछ हाय हाय।
सामने देखिए प्रोफाइल हटाइए, सामने देखिए सगाई हो रही है आपकी, फोटो खींच रही है आप।
कभी कभी लगता है कि बड़ी सेक्स नुमा आवाज है रोजी। जसपाल रोजी को देखना चाहता हूँ।
जसपाल रोजी को रोज देख सकता है, सपने में।
सपने में?
लिपस्टिक वाले सपने।
लाली चढ़ी होठों पे ख्वाबों के गुलाब की, चाली चढ़ी आंखों पे चाहत बेनकाब सी।
सुहागरात तक वेट करें।
हाँ,
कंडोम बोलते हैं इसको।
दरअसल वो जज्बात में बह जाते हैं, तो उस टाइम कंडोम।
Set in 1979, A Death in the Gunj is a coming-of-age story about a shy student, Shamal Chatterjee. He uses a family road trip as an escape from his failed semester. What happens at a perfect family holiday is what you need to see in A Death on the Gunj. The movie is the first feature for Konkana Sen Sharma as a writer and director. Konkana Sen Sharma began her acting career at the age of 4 and has acted in over 40 films in Hindi, Bengali and English. She has been felicitated with national awards and several industry awards. Let's talk to her and learn about The Death in the Gunj. Talk to us about your film. It's your first film as a writer and director. So what made you create a movie like A Death in the Gunj?
Actually, this for me is part of my childhood because McCluskey Ganj is a place which is, it's about a 10-hour drive from Calcutta where I grew up. And my family, we used to have a family home there, and so my family used to often travel there for vacations. And it's one of those, family anecdotes which have just, come, it's just one of those stories you tell again and again. There are many stories my dad used to tell me as a kid, from these holidays, from my childhood. Most of them were funny stories, some of them, are slightly eerie kind of stories because it's a very remote area, it's a very sleepy little town. So this was just one of those slightly, disturbing, slightly eerie stories which never left me. So I've always been fascinated at how events turned out, and it's something which I've mulled over, not really consciously ever wanting to make a film out of it, but eventually I think when I was at one time when after I had my son and I had taken some time off work and I was actually thinking about the story a lot, it developed in such a way that I realized that I could actually make something of it, maybe make a film out of it. So it happened very organically. I don't even know when exactly.
But does it have some real life incidences that you've put in this movie?
It's based on, it's inspired by true events. So there, some people went on a family vacation, somebody died. And what I have done is I've just taken a week out of that family vacation and showed what happened over these 7 days that led to this death.
So were there any challenges that you faced while shooting this movie and making it?
Tremendous amount of challenges. I mean, in any case, I think it's difficult to make a film, for little money. The cast is big. It's not just like 2 people in a room. The infrastructure in McCluskey Ganj is not great right now. We couldn't actually house everyone. We couldn't house the crew there. We had to, we lived in Ranchi, which is an hour and a half away. So we were traveling 3 hours minimum a day. And then, there are a lot of power outages and things like that. It happens in, the remote corners of India. So I wouldn't say it was easy, but luckily our executive producers were really good, and we knew we had to travel a lot. We knew that we'd have certain limitations and things like that, but we were prepped for that.
So there has always been a demarcation between parallel cinema and the mainstream commercial cinema. What would you say about that in 2017? Has that changed?
I don't think it's really changed. There have been some films which perhaps were made as an indie film but have proved to be very popular, across the board, and that has always happened. I think that this kind of divide has always been there, because and in India we have a conventional mainstream format, which is how the bulk of Hindi films are made, whether it's a big star or, the song and dance kind of a routine. It's a particular kind of a format. It is changing. Every year there are 5 films which challenge it, but every year thousands of films are being made which adhere to that format. And it kind of spreads over to regional cinema as well, which also copy the popular Hindi cinema. So populism has always existed like that. I think it's going to be relevant to me in this particular situation only because I knew that this is the story I wanted to tell. This is the time and this is the place and these are the people. So I knew that those were the parameters I had to work within.
And your another movie is featured in the New York Indian Film Festival, A Lipstick Under My Burqa. What would you say about that movie? How is it working in that?
I'm so thrilled that Alankrita's film has, found. Finally, it has got a censor certificate from India. It was not being given a censor certificate. I thought the people in India would not be able to watch this film, whereas it's been doing a wonderful round at all the festivals abroad, winning awards. But finally it has. I'm thrilled. It's going to release soon. Everywhere the film has been shown, and it's such a specific film about 4 women and their lives in Bhopal, a small town in India. but it's resonated with audiences across the world. And the journey of this film has been incredible, and I'm really excited. And it was the opening film at this festival. Unfortunately, I missed it here, but I've seen the film, and it's just been amazing to see how warmly people respond to this film.
And how was it working with Ratna Pathak in that movie?
I've known Ratna for a while. Ratna and Nasir, I've known them for a while. I've worked in Nasir's film that he directed, Yun Hota To Kya Hota. And I've known Ratna for a while, and she was great to work with as well. We get along really well. And Plabita and Ahana, the other, there are 4 women, me, Ratna, Plabita, Ahana, and 4 of us got along really well. And I think that all of us the characters were so well written and so well etched, fleshed out so well, that it was very easy for us to get into the characters and get into the role, even though it is an unfamiliar space for me and for many of us, because we are not actually these women. But somehow Alankrita has written it in such a way that it is able to reach out across to women everywhere, and I think it has done that.
अगर पूर्णा ये सबमिट करती है तो 13 साल 10 महीने की उम्र में she will be the youngest girl in history to climb Mount Everest.
Rahul Bose's movie Purna was also featured in the film festival. Purna is based on a true story of Malavat Purna, a tribal girl from Telangana who created history by becoming the youngest girl in the world to scale the Mount Everest. Rahul Bose returned to direction after a long gap with Purna. Let's speak with him and get his take on the movie. Welcome to ZTV, Rahul.
Thank you.
So Rahul, coming here at the New York India Film Festival and featuring your film Purna, how does it feel?
This is a great festival. It's always got a great selection of movies. I'm always happy and proud to be part of this festival. Especially proud to bring Purna here because this film has seen a great journey. It's just released in India. It's running in its 5th week, and interested to see how audiences in New York will react to it.
What inspired you to create this movie of courage, Purna? Like, how did you get to know about Purna?
Well, I think that the fact that she's the youngest girl in history to climb Mount Everest is in itself a great story. But the fact that she's undereducated, she's tribal and she's poor just makes it all the more complex and all the more interesting. So yeah, it was irresistible for me as a film to make.
What would you say about Aditi Inamdar? She's playing the role of Purna in the movie. How did you pick her? And there was 109 girls that auditioned for the role. How did you know that she's the one that can portray the role of Purna?
Well, I auditioned her and I did a pretty tough audition with her, and I found that she had the ability to withstand pressure. She had the ability to take direction, and she's got talent. So these are the 3 qualities you're looking for in any actor.
And what were some of the challenges that you faced while shooting for this movie?
Two kinds. One is the physical challenge, starting at her village, 45 degrees centigrade in Pakala, moving to the rock climbing at shots 650 feet high on a rock, then going to the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute in Darjeeling and dealing with all of those logistical hassles, and finally the Everest shots that had to be matched with our Everest summit stock footage, not stock footage but expedition footage, was killing. It was just a physical challenge. The other challenge was she's a 13-year-old girl, and you have to be very responsible making a biopic about her, because if you get the tone wrong, it could impact the rest of her life.
अकरम भाई, यहाँ तो कुछ भी नहीं बदला।
शहर का बहुत ख्याल रखना मेहर।
अब्बा मियाँ आपको लाला बेगम क्यों बना गए? आपको अपनी जगह क्यों बिठा गए वो? मुझे ओरिजिनल वसीयत देखनी है।
सुना है ये घर बिक रहा है।
इस सदी में तो एक घर हरगिज नहीं बिकेगा। इस घर की हर वो दीवार मैं तोड़ूंगी जो आपने और अब्बा मियाँ ने खड़ी की।
संगमरमर की कोई उम्र नहीं होती।
ताजमहल का रंग क्यों बदल गया फिर? मुझे अहमद खान से शादी के बाद पता चला।
Set in the 70s, Lala Begum is a story of 2 estranged sisters, Meher and Seher, who parted ways over personal issues which they never confronted. It's a story about 2 people coming to terms with the past and trying to move ahead in life. What happens when, after 20 years of estrangement, both the sisters are forced to have a face-to-face confrontation? So viewers, I have with me Pakistan's acclaimed producer and director Mehreen Jabbar. Mehreen, welcome to ZTV.
Thank you so much.
How does it feel to be here at the New York Indian Film Festival and having your movie premiered here?
It's very exciting because I live in New York, and this is also one of the only 2 Pakistani films showing here. So I'm very excited to be part of this wonderful festival. It's been around for so long, and it's one of the institutions of New York. So I'm very happy.
So talk to us a little bit about your movie Lala Begum. What inspired you to create a movie?
Well, this was from, this was an initiative from ZTV, this project called Zeal for Unity, which brought together 12 filmmakers, 6 from India, 6 from Pakistan. And I was one of the directors that was approached from Pakistan to make a 1-hour film. And this story came about me and my writer were sitting and we were discussing we must work with these 2 great actresses who are also good friends. And it'll be fun to do a story about, older women. Who does that? I mean, it's pretty rare these days. And we had a great storyline, and we wanted to work with our 2 friends.
So it's a story about 2 estranged sisters who meet after 20 years, and then they have the final confrontation. Talk to us a little bit about that. What came up in your head that you wanted to create a movie about 2 estranged sisters and the struggle that they went through?
Well, I have to say, to be honest with you, it was the writer who came up with the story. I think my main thing was I wanted to use these 2, which I often say are the best comedic actors in Pakistan, but they were given these really serious, somber, dark roles to do, which was exciting because it was challenging for me and for them. And I guess in some ways, even though we didn't think of it that way, but it could play as a metaphor for India, Pakistan. Even though the ending of this film, I don't know, I hope we are for better futures for both our countries.
So how does it feel about having your movie here in front of so many people that are coming to see, so many screenings that are happening at the New York Indian Film Festival? What is your expectation of the audience's reaction to your movie?
I think before every screening, I don't want to go to the screening, and I'm very stressed out, so it's never a pleasant feeling. The good thing is I've already had the film show in Mississauga and in San Francisco and in Dallas recently, so that was a good test. But New York is the toughest because my friends will be here, and there's nothing worse than being friends, having friends present and being your best critics.
So what's next for Mehreen Jabbar? What's next coming out?
Next is 2 telefilms, 1 TV serial, and working on a film for next year.
Thank you so much, Mehreen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us as we bring you more of the action from the 17th Annual New York Indian Film Festival after the break. The centerpiece film of the New York Indian Film Festival was An Insignificant Man. The film follows Kejriwal and his common man's party. It gives an insider's view into Kejriwal's brand of politics. With never-seen-before footage, the film offers a unique insight into the fledgling political party's battle between survival and extinction in the largest democracy in the world. Let's learn from the director Khushbu Ranka and Vinay Shukla about the movie. So what made you create a movie on Arvind Kejriwal and his party, Aam Aadmi Party?
Like I said, we were in New York, and at that time, the Occupy Wall Street movement was going on, and we had a bunch of friends who were involved in that, and they were documenting that, those events. And we started thinking about how there's a similar thing happening in India, but there's nobody really sort of, we hadn't heard of anybody engaging with it in an artistic, cinematic capacity. So we decided to sort of just go to Delhi with our cameras and see what happens. Once we started making the film, we realized this is a really interesting story, and we sort of continued making it.
So it was out of 400 hours of footage that you made a 100-minute movie. How is that? How many challenges did you face in that?
I mean, it's a challenge in terms of we had to arrive at what really the story is in those 400 hours. But when you were shooting a documentary, especially the one that we had no idea where the story was going to go. We didn't know whether they'll win, they'll lose, what will become of them by the time we finish shooting. So our main focus at that point was to really sort of try and shoot everything that we felt was important, develop some sort of a story instinct as you're going along. And then, of course, the edit is the process where I guess we found our film while we were editing it. We found our characters, we found things that were important to us, and then tried to string them along in a 90-minute narrative.
How supportive was the Aam Aadmi Party to you guys?
Supportive in the sense, see, we got there really early when they were just starting out the political party. So when we got there was nobody else interested in that story. So they were more than happy that somebody was interested. And after that, we basically turned up every day and continued shooting. To the point that beyond a certain point, they didn't care. They didn't care what we were doing with our small cameras. So we didn't try to come in their way, and that sort of helped us not get noticed too much. Yeah.
Well, and then what's the message that you want to give out to the viewers with this movie?
We don't want to give a message as such. We just, you know, as filmmakers, you spend like 3 years, 4 years making a film. You hope that you make a film that can stand the test of time, in the sense that it's not only a time capsule for something that happened, but also it has a lot of implicit, you know, ideas in it which different people can interpret in different ways. So there's no one message that we want to give. We hope people will watch it with an open mind and be able to go back with a deeper and more and a richer understanding of politics.
मुझे लगता है मेरा वक्त आ गया है और मैं मरने के लिए तैयार हूँ अब, पर मैं यहाँ नहीं मरना चाहता, मैं बनारस चला जाऊँ।
बाबा, ऑफिस में थोड़ा काम
करना क्या है? तुम मुझे टैक्सी में बिठा देना, मैं अपने आप चला जाऊँगा। इतना समय है ना तुम्हारे पास?
कितने दिन लगेंगे?
सोच समझ के पूछा करो ना, कब मरेंगे कब मरेंगे। अरे मैं क्या वहां जाकर उनका गला घोट दूं?
तुम आओगे ना?
कहाँ? बनारस या?
नाम मुक्ति भवन है, लेकिन हम मुक्ति प्राप्त होने तक कमरा नहीं देते। कमरा सिर्फ 15 दिन के लिए मिलता है, बस 15 दिन। उसके बाद भैया हम क्या जाने, आप जानिए। अगर ऊपर चलेंगे तो ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर घर वापस जाइए।
अगर आपको दोबारा हमारे इस परिवार में जन्म लेने का मौका मिले, फिर भी नहीं?
मैं चाहता हूँ तुम मुझे धूमधाम से विदा करना।
So talk to us about the film Hotel Salvation. What is it all about?
Good. I wish I was the director of the film to say it in a profound way, but this is a film about a father-son relationship where the director has very cleverly put both these characters in a setting where father is he thinks that he is about to die, and in 15 days' time. So the grudges, the unspoken accusations which haven't been spoken about, in their lives till these last 15 days of his life. So all these tensions and stresses and the hidden or unspoken accusations are being sort of encountered by these two characters. It's archetypal characters. All the fathers of the world and all the sons of the world. Everybody can sort of recognize it because I think most fathers and sons, they have all these tensions unspoken. I don't know why.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. I have a reason. I had been thinking about it because I have just become a father of a son. And so I realized as soon as my son was born 7 years ago, and the entire focus suddenly shifted from me to our son. And my wife is not available for me. And we have, in spite of all these evolution, whatever the men have gone through, including if you work really hard, the patriarchal attitude in men, so they, I guess, cannot, cannot reconcile with the attention, that which has sort of left them. And it's a kind of a hidden jealousy and unspoken jealousy of the male patriarch. Suddenly another man in the family starts getting all the attention. So I think I'm not a psychologist or a sociologist to talk about it, but this is what I feel personally.
अंदर चलो चलो अंदर चलो चलो फुटबॉल स्टेशन में खेलना अभी पढ़ा लिखा दिखता और ऐसा हरकत करता है अंदर बैठो तो अप्पा you and me in this wonderful world.
What kind of a... You find a poor old man and you make him play football?
Don't do drama now.
What is it with you and your brother? Huh? From the time you are this much, you only fought.
Your dick's rotting with green yellow pus. Your breath smells like a donkey farted on rotten eggs.
So how are you now?
Not yet gone to mental hospital.
You mad?
Don't get any ideas. I'm only interested in your father.
तो अगले संडे अगर वो बुड्ढे को लेकर आया ना तो मेरा नंबर कैंसिल है.
All of us.
The closing night film screening was of the movie You Are My Sunday. In the maddening congestion of Mumbai, 5 young men living disparate lives share a common goal to play football at Juhu Beach every Sunday. While each one has their reason to look forward to the Sunday morning, there's no doubt it's a high point of their week. It's the director Milind Thaimande's first feature film. Let's take a look at the post-screening discussion with the director and cast of the film. So Milind, how did this idea come to you of creating a movie on Sunday and these 4 guys coming together and they want to play soccer and they want to take charge of their Sunday? How did this idea come into your head?
Well, this comes from, I'm a Bombay boy, so so there was a bunch of guys in our office who used to play football every Sunday, and I think for them that Sunday ritual was far bigger than anything else. And I used to go and play with them once in a while, and what I realized was it's not really the football, it's just the coming together which was a great thing for them. And so one day it struck me, what would happen to these guys if they couldn't really play football? If they had to find another place to play. And so the idea started from there, and then I started thinking of my life, of the kind of friends I had, and I started mishmashing everything together and putting it in a film.
So you have your personal experience?
Oh, lots, yeah. Most of it is like from my life and things I've seen either firsthand or I've heard from someone. So yeah.
So Shahana, how is it working in this movie? Talk to us about your character.
Well, what drew me to the film was, of course, the whole script. I mean, rarely do when I read a script, it's great if you read it in one setting and you've enjoyed yourself and laughed and kind of felt a lump in your throat at the same time. So that's what happened with this script. And to me, besides the fact that I really liked my character, I felt that all the other characters were very real. Real is a very overused word, I think, in films, but they're very genuine, and I would say they're people like us. I like that word. I like that phrase. So the people like us, you can relate to them. It's the kind of language that was used. I think it's the first time in a film that I think there's a perfect mix of the way we, the urban, middle class, upper middle class speak in India. We speak in a mix of English and Hindi, which changes with certain contexts, and I think that is really well captured in this film. So you really feel like you're hearing your friends talk, and you're not watching a film. So, and the problems that it explores is also very real. So about my character, she's again, all the female characters are extremely strong, but in a very subtle way. They're not, put out there like goddesses. They are put out there as real, strong women who are part of another narrative. So, she's a character who's she's working in she has a high position. She's the vice president of a big advertising agency, marketing agency, and she has her own life. She takes care single-handedly of her father, who's kind of ailing, has Alzheimer's, and how this love story emerges with the guy where she takes the initiative even there. He's shy, and even that dynamic to me was very interesting to see that we don't really see films where you show real situations, and that again comes from his own life. But it was just very interesting to play someone, and there were little things like I always use this example, but there are these montages in a song where he wanted Kavi, my character, to she is someone who's hands-on and takes care of everything and is independent. So there's a scene of her fixing a plug, she's screwing the plug back into place. And these are things that people do. We've done. We all live alone, and we've all done that in our real lives. And I just like the fact that there was so much of our own lives in the film. So that was what really drew me to it, yeah.
And how is it working with Milind?
He's fantastic. He's my soulmate. We talk about how we're like one and the same person, like just a generation apart, and but we're exactly the same person. So it was amazing. How do you think I am? Then you'll know.
More exciting stuff coming up from the New York Indian Film Festival. Stay tuned. Finally, New York Indian Film Festival has come to an end. Today is the last closing night. How did the viewers react to your film?
We had a fantastic reaction actually. I'm really pleased. I've been coming to this festival for the last 10 years or more, and we had a great Q&A post the film, a very interactive session. The audience is really engaged, and we had a really good discussion, considering it's not an American film, a Hollywood film. It's not a very typically mainstream Indian film, but I think people reacted to it really well, so I'm happy.
It was very overwhelming. I mean, I still get emails from people saying, can you play the film again? I'll book a theater and I'm going to get my friends, I want to watch it. And the review that came out was so fantastic. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more, I mean, people in New York, especially the Indian community out here, I was a little apprehensive because it's a homosexual film and it's a silent film. So people like drama, people like dialogues, people like songs. My film has nothing of that sort.
This is the first time we are ever played this movie. This is our world premiere. So I didn't play it yet with so many audience in the packed theater, and the reaction I got from the people, it's amazing, overwhelming.
It was amazing. Well, I studied film in New York, and then I'm Indian and I live in India. So like having the New York Indian Film Festival is like a perfect blend, perfect showcase for me to have my New York premiere. The film has shown at a bunch of festivals. We've shown in Europe, we've shown in America, we've shown at really actually I'm just traveling back from TIFF Kids, so the Toronto International Film Festival Kids. And this is our next screening, so we're very excited.
It's a wonderful feeling, and particularly just 2 days back we received the President's Gold Medal for Best Feature Film of India, and we received that, and then immediately at the same midnight we came here. So it's a wonderful feeling that immediately presenting the film here in this festival.
It was a really nice response. This is a US premiere, so I was somewhat unsure as to how they would respond. But it was a great screening, a very nice Q&A, and just happy to be here. I mean, it's also been nominated for Best Documentary.
What would you say about New York Indian Film Festival giving a chance to upcoming directors, actors to feature their movie here among so many people?
I think New York is very much like Bombay, and a lot of films that are being created are new, and Bombay has new voices. And I think Arun and Asim have been doing a great job trying to really find and really source those films and filmmakers, really showcase them at the festival in New York. So I think it's a great opportunity for everyone who's here.
So finally, today is the last day of New York Indian Film Festival, closing night. How was the overall experience this year?
It was very good, very stressful for all of us working behind the scenes, but the audiences were very happy, the filmmakers were very happy. Many screenings were completely sold out. A lot of very fascinating conversations. I'm so happy just today Adil Hussain is here and Konkana Sen Sharma is here, Shahana Goswami is here, Rasika Dugal. We celebrate indie films. That's what this festival is all about, because these films don't get distributed and released in theaters here in New York. And all of these people are like icons of independent cinema in India. So I'm so happy that they all chose to come here, and they're all here. They just walk the red carpet. So yeah.
Everyone's had a blast. We've had such interesting post-screening discussions. They're intelligent, they're fun, they're socially conscious, they're everything. And people actually react to this. And we've had people bouncing questions off the filmmakers. I think this has been a really wonderful festival.
Well, this brings us to an end for this year's New York Indian Film Festival. We hope you enjoyed the 17th New York Indian Film Festival highlights with all the industry panels, movie screenings, and the interviews with the cast and crew on the red carpet. Till next time, it's me, Kritika Swani, signing off. Thank you for joining us.